All right. Good morning. My name is Asia Stupart, and I am the MEFA Pathway Program Coordinator. Today, we'll be talking about mass transfer and programs that can help students save on the course to college. Before we get started, just wanted to let you know that this webinar is being recorded. And in addition, after this webinar, you'll be receiving an email with information about this webinar to review the link, as well as additional webinars that we do here at MEFA. And before we dive into MEFA Pathway, it's going to hover over to MEFA really quickly because this webinar is part of the MEFA Institute. Now, if you're joining this webinar and you're wondering what the MEFA Institute is, well, MEFA Institute is a free professional development series for educators and college access professionals such as yourself. And you have the opportunity to take a variety of lessons and webinars and blogs and just rich content that can help your profession and help you as you help students. And you can earn PDP, or professional development points, for those lessons. And this webinar is one lesson that you can earn a PDP for. There's a ton, but I just want to make sure that you know that you can receive PDP points for this particular webinar. So to do that, you want to make sure you go to MEFA.org. You want to make sure that you go to the MEFA Institute page, and then you'll want to hit school counselors. And then you want to scroll down a bit to click on the evidence of learning form. So once you click on that form, you'll want to be able to fill this form out once you complete a lesson within the MEFA Institute. You'll put in your name, your email, the lesson that you took, and then just answer 3 simple questions about the lesson and how it'll help strengthen your practice and how it'll help connect your lesson to serving students, and then you'll be able to submit it. And then once you submit it, then we'll look into your submission and make sure that you have the correct number of PDPs associated. And that's pretty it. So once you complete 10 lessons, you'll be able to earn a certificate of completion. So if you are in need of PDPs, definitely take advantage of the MEFA Institute. It's free, and there's a variety of lessons that you can tap into to learn and also strengthen your practice. All right. So I'm going to go back to MEFA Pathway. So MEFA Pathway, if you're not familiar, is a free and interactive platform for students in grades 6 through 12 to help them plan for post-secondary success. And if you are not a MEFA Pathway affiliate, you can definitely become one. It's pretty easy and pretty straightforward. And if that's something that's of interest to you, I can send along my information at the end of this webinar, and you can get in touch with us about becoming a MEFA Pathway affiliate. So I'm going to click I am a student. And for first-time users within MEFA Pathway, students will have to register for an account. The registration process is pretty straightforward. There are about 2 to 3 pages, and it'll just ask the student to put in their name, their city or town the school is in, and their school. And then it'll also ask them to create like a username, a password, and answer security questions. And the great thing about that is that students can create or input their own security questions as well as the answers to them. So we find that that helps students recall their password and their security questions a bit better. So we definitely encourage students to select a question and answer that they will be able to recall in the case they can't log in. And then if a student already has an account, they just can sign in. And I'll also mention that part of the login process is that students can log in with Clever. And Clever integration is a new feature within MEFA Pathway. And if you are a Clever school and you are a MEFA Pathway school and you would like to take advantage of this amazing integration, please feel free to reach out to us and let us know. And we can definitely get you all set up and at least pass along instructions on what you have to do to become Clever integrated. But if you're not familiar with Clever, it is integration that enables single sign-on. So for schools, there's two ways to log in. Students can log in through the Clever Gallery, and then they can select the MEFA Pathway chiclet. And then the other way that they can log in is by going to mefapathway.org and selecting this log in with Clever button. So I'm just going to log in with my username and password. All right, so this is Zoe's account. Zoe is a 10th grader. This is her landing page and also the dashboard, and it features a variety of activities that Zoe can take and can also continue. But for the sake of this webinar, since we're talking about mass transfer and how those programs can help students, I'm going to hover over to search colleges. Now, under search colleges, that's where you will be able to help students find information about mass transfer and mass transfer benefits. So the first page I'm going to click on is the Mass Transfer Benefits tab. And the great thing with mass transfer is that students can start at a community college and then they can transfer into a state college within the program. Now, the program is designed to help students save on the costs of college. So by starting at a community college and then transfer into a state college, then that student has the opportunity to save on tuition and fees and a variety of expenses related to going to college. So I'm going to select a college, a community college. So for example, I will select Roxbury Community College as a starting spot. And then let's say your student starts at Roxbury or they're interested in starting at Roxbury, and they can select a school that they would like to transfer into. So I'm going to select UMass Lowell. And by doing that, we can see that there are 3 programs within the Mass Transfer program. There's the Gen Ed Foundation program, there's the A to B program, and then there's also the Commonwealth commitment. So these programs all allow students to start at a community college and then transfer into a state college. Now, we can see that for the Gen Ed Foundation program, the student would start at Roxbury Community College for 1 year, and then they would do 3 years at UMass Lowell. Their estimated savings would be a little over $8,000. Now, these are just estimated costs. So for 4 years at starting at a community college and then going into UMass Lowell, this particular student would save around $56,000. Now that's a good amount of savings, but it's important to remember that these numbers are estimates, and these numbers primarily only include tuition and fees. So the student might accrue other costs such as a meal plan, such as housing, such as books and other personal expenses. But for the majority of these numbers, it's important that they know that it's for tuition and fees. So when the student puts in their community college and their school that they're interested into transferring into, they can easily save the plan by selecting the Save This Plan button. And I'll select the Gen Ed Foundation program. You can hover to their website just so that you as a counselor, as you're working with students and you're telling them about these programs, they have an idea as to what the program is. So for example, with the Gen Ed Foundation program, students complete 34 credits before they transfer into a state college within the MassTransfer program. And what this means is that if students are completing or able to complete 34 credits at a community college before they transfer, then when they get to, UMass Lowell or UMass Boston or, any other school in the program, then they only have to complete 24 remaining credits to get their associate's degree. Now that is, amazing. Just to be able for students to know that there's, a path for them to get to college and there's ways for them to save money on their path to college, and just completing 34 credits in a community college setting and then transferring, they only have 26 credits remaining to get that first degree that they're working for. All right, so we'll go back. So we have Gen Ed Foundation. Next, we have the A to B program. Now, this program is a little bit different than the Gen Ed Foundation program in the sense that students would do 2 years at a community college and then 2 years at UMass Lowell. So the estimated savings is $20,688.79. So that's approximately about 32% savings compared to a traditional degree program at UMass Lowell. So the estimated cost for 4 years is $44,287.98. So I'm also going to save this plan. And then I also go to the A to B program website. Again, these programs are all part of MassTransfer. So with the A to B program, the student will essentially complete start at a community college, and then they transfer into a state college within the program. So they'll do 2 years at a community college and then be able to transfer into the state college. And I definitely encourage that if you're working with a student and talking about MassTransfer and the different programs that are offered within MassTransfer, to have them spend some time looking through the website for each program that is of interest to them, because each page or each program will have more information about, choosing a major and just the steps that they can take if they choose to start at a community college and then transfer into a state college. So it's just another way for them to be armed with this important information. Okay, last but not least is the Commonwealth Commitment Program. And similar to the A to B program, students start at a community college. So they'll do 2 years at RCC, Roxbury Community College, and then 2 years at UMass Lowell. So when they complete their 2 years at a community college, again, they can transfer into a state program. So I'm going to also save this to my list. And students can save as many plans as they want. They can change the school that they want to start at, and then also change the school that they want to transfer in. It's important that the students know that there's a select number of state colleges within the MassTransfer program. So the student isn't going to see, schools outside of this list, but also if they go to the program websites, they'll be able to see an additional listing of all of the community colleges and all of the state colleges as well, and state colleges in Massachusetts. But again, not every state, college, or university in Massachusetts is within the MassTransfer program. So students just want to be mindful of that, that there's a select number of students, but ultimately the goal is for students to be able to have an option of saving on their path to college, and doing that by starting at a community college and then transferring into a state college. So I saved all these 3 to my list, and I'm going to really quickly just go to my MassTransfer Benefits tab. So here is the page where students will be able to see all of the programs that they save within MassTransfer. So whether they start at RCC and go to UMass Boston, or they start at Bunker Hill and go to UMass Dartmouth, if they continually search for programs and save them, then they will be able to see all those plans on this list right here. And so we can see the name of the plan, we can see the program name, the starting school, and the transfer into school. And students can easily add more plans to this list easily by changing the school. So we'll put Bunker Hill, and then we'll put, for example, Fitchburg. And then we can see that the numbers are a bit different based upon, where you're starting and where you are going. So again, as a reminder, the Gen Ed program, you start 1 year at a community college, and then you do 3 years at a state college. The A to B and the Commonwealth Commitment Program, you start 2 years at a community college, and then you transfer into a state college and complete your 2 years, remaining 2 years. And then, if you have students that, say, you know what, I have all these plans, but, I want to kind of edit my benefits a bit, so they can easily remove their plan just by hitting this X button. It's a nice way to see all of the plans and, where students are interested in starting and where they're interested in possibly transferring to. The last thing I'll show, just a quick bonus, is the College Compare. And the reason why I'm going to show the College Compare is that students can, they can compare colleges directly from their college list, or they can also compare colleges from their MassTransfer Benefits. So all the programs and all the plans that the student has added or has looked into and saved, they can compare it side by side. So the maximum side-by-side comparison is 5. So students will want to be able to select my MassTransfer, and I'll just show 2 plans rather, side by side. So we'll do Berkshire Community College, and then we'll do RCC. And then we'll do show comparison. So the College Compare gives students a side-by-side comparison of all the schools that they either have, on their college list, or even the MassTransfer Benefits. So they can see that the key factors of the school, they'll be able to view undergraduate information. They'll also be able to see their estimated savings. So at for UMass Boston, the estimated savings is $18,000 compared to a traditional bachelor's program at UMass Boston, Whereas for UMass Lowell, starting at RCC, the estimated savings is $8,690 compared to a traditional bachelor's program at UMass Lowell. And students can also see the in-state tuition and fees, out-of-state tuition and fees, and just more important and helpful information that allows the students to kind of get a side-by-side comparison of the schools that they are interested in, and perhaps will apply to. And also, the test scores and just any additional savings as well. Well, that is all for this particular webinar. If you have any other questions, or if you are interested in the MEFA Pathway, please feel free to reach out to us. Again, my name is Asia, and thank you so much for joining me on this particular webinar on mass transfer. And I hope that this webinar helps your students and also helps you as you are helping your students. So have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.